So welcome everybody
Yes,
for our webinar. I'm pleased to talk to you. And let's start with our discussion.
fantastic. Thank you so much, Christian. And now let's start first, but just like a little bit of a warming up. So, Christian, tell us a little bit, just very simply, a little bit in brief about you, and how does one end up being CEO of an education institution? How does that work?
Yes, thank you very much for this question. So my name is Christian Starr. I am born in Germany. I'm a native German speaker, and I have studied from 2003 to 2010 international management. So here at the University of Magdeburg, I am still working for. So after graduating from my management program, I started working for the business school, which is officially running on behalf of the Faculty of Management and Economics at the university, the international MBA program. This is our English language program. And beside that, we have our German speaking programs. This is mainly for part-time workers who want to study beside their work. And as a CEO, I am responsible for all the processes in our business schools. So from the beginning, from the first contact point with the applicants, also for the marketing and so on, regarding scheduling the timetables and monitoring finance, doing also establishing with my colleagues the strategy of the business school. So I am part of nearly every task here in the business school. So I'm working for our CEO. It's Professor Weimann. He is a professor. He's a full professor here at the university, and he is one of the founder of the business school. Together with my team, we are running the business schools and are happy to welcome international students because we designed a special program for international students joining the University of Magdeburg.
Sounds more than fantastic. Very, very exciting. So on the same time, since you've been you're intimately in this field now for a very long time, whether be it as a student and now even further during your career, I'll start with one of our hottest questions during such times. Everyone knows with COVID-19 pandemic and things have been changing a lot. A lot of people have been questioning the ideas of what is going to be the future of education? How does that look like in this new current landscape? Since a lot of students have been necessarily off campuses and they've been working now, trying to learn new things. Like for us, for example, we try to navigate with things like Zoom or things like Teams or Hangouts. From your perspective, if you were to try to give a little bit of a nuanced perspective on what do you think is the future of international education during such times?
Of course, the education nowadays, during this crisis and so on, faces a lot of really high thresholds or borders we have to overcome because lecturing or teaching in presence is not allowed right now. I'm pretty sure we will find solutions for this and we'll come back to an on-site lectures again. But nevertheless, in every crisis, I always see chances. And yes, we had overnight, we have to switch our lectures from on-site to online lectures. But of course, there are also problems like we are missing the interaction with the students. So what universities and we as a business school are also focusing on is to enhance the communication with our students, because this is most important for teaching. We want to argue with you, we want to discuss with the students, so we can have a transfer of knowledge. So this is a problem of online lectures, but nevertheless, it is a really convenient tool, and we are working really good with using Microsoft Teams for our lectures. We are doing the lectures online, and we also have discussions online. So from my point of view, the future of education will be a mixture of what we are doing today and what we have done, let's say, 6 months ago, before this pandemic started. So we are going to be a more flexible partner for our students. We want to be a more flexible partner also for our cooperation partners. So it means that we still have topics where we need to discuss in a classroom, in an on-site classroom, because we believe this is a better way of transporting the knowledges to the students, but it will be, we will add some additional features from the e-learning, from the online learning, if we can solve the problem of missing interaction. So I strongly believe that if you want to educate people on a research base, based on methods and knowledges, we need to interact personally. And therefore, I believe we will come back to a situation where we have on-site lectures, but we'll add it with this online tools like, we can do polls, we can do online examinations and online tests, so interactive tests where we have automatic feedback for the students. This is what we are actually using here at our business school for doing the teaching more interactive and more attractive to our students.
So basically, according to what you're saying, Christian, like the future is blended. Basically, the future is a blend between online, offline. Exactly, like blended programs on campus, off campus, online, offline, and offering students also a wider variety and a bigger degree of flexibility to utilize different tools, different channels that are in line with, let's say, what is this going to be the new norm, as they would call it. So fantastic pointers there, Christian. I'm going to build up on it for my next question. So given that even us, like as a small startup, as Educately, we're basically in the space of attempting to connect young people to education opportunities all around the world. We wish that every young person in the world would have the opportunity to fulfill their educational dream. But in these current times also, where borders are closed, where it's much more difficult to travel, or a lot of people even have like that fear of like going back again on a plane. It's like almost like everyone has PTSD. They're worried that as soon as they put their foot on a plane, they're gonna get some disease. Do you think that as part of this new norm, it's still going to be possible to study abroad?
So I can only speak for the German country because I'm not really aware of how the Arabic countries, how China, how the United States are actually handling this pandemic. Of course, I need newspapers. I read newspapers about it, but it's only filtered news, so it's not the original source. But here in Germany, I have access to the original laws and regulations, looking on the numbers of new infections, we have a really good situation here in Germany. During the time of, let's say, the middle of March until the middle of June, there was a restriction of traveling. So even within the European Union, we are not allowed to travel. We are even not allowed to travel within Germany. So there was a full lockdown also here in our country. But numbers developed well, so the numbers of new infections decreased dramatically. We have around 200, less than 200 infections every day. So this is quite a good number. And therefore, the European Union opened mainly on June 15 again for travel. So within the European Union, the situation is I think under control right now, under press. Some said that will be also for the future. But therefore, traveling within the European Union, and this means also studying abroad within the European Union, is allowed. And I'm pretty sure that if every country, if every country is doing their job good, is doing their job well, there will also be traveling allowed from outside the European into the European Union. So of course, I think when we are thinking about the future of education as well, and as I mentioned before, we want to keep in touch with the student, and online is a good way, but it's not perfect from our understanding. So we are working on all the conditions. So we are working on our health situation here in Germany, so that we have a lot of disinfection material. We are wearing the face mask and so on, so that this will be possible, so that we can also be visited by non-European students and visitors. So from my understanding and from my beliefs, and I really hope that we will come back to an open world, because living in an open world means that we are living in an open society, and this is really important for a good society. We want this interaction between the cultures, between different countries and so on. So I think, yes, if the numbers develop in that way, and this is also what the full university here in Magdeburg is working on, there will be enrollment period in October, and this means as we have a really high amount of international students, also these students are welcomed here in Germany. I think in October this will be possible, yes.
I think this is a very positive outlook, and the idea that you mentioned there, that a lot of countries are going to need to deal with their regulations and like ensure that at the end of the day there is a smooth transition from this period of let's say I'll call it a little bit of uncertainty and a lot of turbulence into a new norm where we understand very well what needs to be done in order for us to be able to proceed with life. I wouldn't say as usual, but as usual as possible from that perspective. And I think like even like being a recent master's graduate that was actually studying abroad. I think that the idea of studying abroad is still possible. It is still feasible during such times when we combine two parts of the answers that you've already given us, Christian. Like first part, which is adopting blended learning solutions, going a little bit online, a little bit offline, and looking at being able to navigate that. But also the second part of your answer, which is basically look at opportunities in places where you can actually go, and in the same time like aspire to be able to still pursue, still go out there, still stay encouraged to be thirsty for education, for knowledge, and for cultural understanding, because there's nothing that gives you that deep rooted cultural perspective or culture nuance as much as studying abroad. Vivek is saying, as we're stuck at home, what tips do you give us as management students to spend time by learning and make this? So we'll take that we'll take that as soon as we start moving to the Q&A section. But just off the top, Vivek, like it has been a really difficult experience because you need to carry out a good routine, a solid routine, and make sure that you discipline yourself too, but in a virtual setting, which is a very different type of setting, and we'll talk about that later towards the end. So, Christian, moving on from that, the $1 million question or the €1 million question: why an MBA? Why is an MBA relevant during such times? If I can't even leave home and leave my couch, why is an MBA still relevant?
Yes, so first of all, doing an MBA is educating yourself. So, and as I mentioned before, being really well educated is a good starting point for your future. So, what is special about an MBA? Yeah, it's a really broad degree. So it is a management and economics degree with a focus on management, of course, but we here at the business school add a little bit of economics. I will tell you later about it. Yeah, managers in the future need to have an overview about the total company. So it is not only about the prices and marketing, it's also about production processes. It is also about human resources, financing, and everything. So managing a company is a really important task because you want to earn money. You have to be educated in understanding laws and regulations which are important for your company. So it means you have to be you have to have knowledge about accountings, laws, and so on. So this is what an MBA also is important for. And of course, it will help you to acquire knowledge and business practice. So we are doing some case studies, how are best practice examples of other companies, how are they successful? And there are a lot of companies, nobody heard about it, but are world leaders, the so-called hidden champions. So we will teach you that these companies exist and you don't have to be successful like Tesla, Apple, Microsoft. The level is a little bit lower. So, but what did they write on the right time? So, and beside this, these are the hard skills. So understanding balance sheets, understanding finance markets, and so on, understanding how marketing methods work and how the psychology of the human beings work. So how to do the marketing to get the customers. But nevertheless, You also have to have cultural skills, intercultural skills. You have to have communication skills. You have to have a strong network. And you have to deal with pressure, for example. And this is also what an MBA prepares you. So in general, the MBA is a top degree for if you studied something else not related to management and economics. So if you're an engineer or a computer scientist, you have a really perfect understanding of your product in the company. And with an MBA, you combine this with the tools of management so that you can point out the advantages of your product and yeah, sell it to your customers, because that's how you earn money. And this is most important, because companies without earning money, yeah, will be bankrupt, will be off the market, and that's not what we want to. We want you to teach the skills for a positive future, for a really good future.
So let's try to take a little bit of a caveat there. So I'm gonna use this moment to get back to Vivek. So Vivek, if I were you, I'm stuck at home, I'm a management student, I would do three things. I would first expose myself. So just like Christian was saying, I would expose myself to as much knowledge as possible. That could be through reading, that could be through looking at online sources, that could be through connecting to coaches and mentors and people that can actually help me further my depth of understanding. So exposure, that's point number one. Point number two would be exercise. Exercise your brain. For management students, that would mean business cases. Keep doing it left, right, and center. If you're not capable of applying your theoretical knowledge to practical case studies or business cases, there's a gap there that you need to fill in. That would be my second tip. And my last tip is experiment. Go for a startup, tell them you want to work as an intern, and just do it. Do it practically with your own hands. Intern somewhere, intern for someone, like get as much opportunity as possible to experiment and do things with your own hands. That's the actual moment when you really start grasping that body of knowledge that you've accumulated. So thank you for that fantastic question, Vivek. I think for Armia, I hope I'm getting your name right. I think you covered that part, Christian, when it comes to what's the benefit of an MBA for a person working in IT engineering. You kind of like touched upon it. But let's take the question from E. Someone just goes by the name of E over here as a guest.
Yeah.
Do you think would you be able to claim that an MBA would actually contribute to increasing your salary or enhancing your career prospects after graduation, or enabling even your social mobility from one labor market to another? What's your thoughts on that, Chris?
So, of course, if it's an additional degree from a German university or from a world acknowledged university, an MBA always will increase your salaries. I'm pretty sure about it, because that's also what I mentioned before. You already are professional in your major. So it means you are maybe an IT specialist, you are maybe an engineer, you are maybe a lawyer, you are maybe a doctor, a medical doctor. But if you are good in your job, you will be promoted, and then you need this management skills. So, and therefore, this MBA will help you to go up to be promoted in your company, and being promoted in your company usually goes in line with a higher salary. So I'm pretty sure that the salary will be increasing after the graduating. And also to answer the question of E, will I be able to work in Germany after graduating? Yes, of course. So we have a lot of international companies here in Germany where the language always or already is English, and so therefore you are also allowed to work there, and you will also be qualified to work there. It is hard, of course, because it's a foreign country, different culture. But yes, of course, it is possible. You will be qualified for this. So. From my point, Abdurrahman is unfortunately freezed and he is muted. I don't know if he's still in the web conference. So whenever you're back, just give me a small sign. Otherwise, I will maybe answer also other question from the chat. So there's, now you are back. So I see you moving, but you're still muted. You still have to unmute yourself. Otherwise, I can't hear
Yes,
you.
yes,
Yes, great.
yes,
Okay,
sir.
there.
Fantastic.
So maybe I'm using another question, answering first, and then maybe as we are switching to the presentation, because I think a lot of questions which are wrote down in the chat, I will answer during my presentation, my short presentation. So can you look forward to student exchange program in the EU 2021 January to March? Yeah, I'm pretty sure we will do so. It is you just have to monitor the numbers of the infections from Germany and India, and if they are if they are in line, so if they are developing in the same way. And of course, I know India has a lot more people than Germany, but you just have to calculate the number of infections by 100,000 inhabitants. And if they are nearly the same, the European Union, from my understanding, will allow traveling also from this country to Germany. So stay positive, follow the laws and the regulations for working with the pandemic, and therefore I'm pretty sure we will become back to an open world. So, and last question, I think, before coming back to the to my presentation, doing MBA after post graduate, I think graduation, or MBA with job experience, which one would you suggest? Doing MBA after graduation or MBA with job experience? Which one would you? Okay, as I'm responsible for the MBA program, I always recommend doing an MBA, but this question is a little bit too general. So we have to discuss your personal settings, your personal starting point, and see what are your thoughts, what are your ideas about your future. So it always depends. But on the other side, it is also important to check if you fulfill the requirements for doing a Master of Science program, for example, here in Germany. So you know the admission requirements are always different for the study programs. We have to take this also in consideration. Okay. So
fantastic answers there, Christian. Maybe we'll move to the what it takes to get an MBA question, because that's usually a very big question that's on people's minds. Like, do I need a good GMAT score, a good GRE score, TOEFL? So give us a little bit of perspective on that.
This is actually the last part of my short presentation, and yeah, let's mix it a little bit. Maybe it's not a good idea to have a talk about 30 minutes right now on my presentation. So let's see what we already covered. So this is the list I have prepared regarding your email. So what do we want to talk about? And you already asked me the first 4 questions. And I already introduced myself, and yeah, this is me. If you don't see me on the webcam, if the connection is not that good, this is me. This is Professor Weimann. I already talked about him. He is the CEO of the business school and the founder. We have, in addition, Peter Reichling. He is responsible for our international affairs. Actually, these 2 people are also full professors here at our university, and they will also teach you during our MBA program. So I am responsible for the processes, and this presentation, this nice presentation, and also our communication head and marketing head, this is Franziska. She is also a graduate from our university, and she finished she finished her dissertation in the field of neurosciences. It's also a really nice field. So, okay, just for letting know everybody, where am I? So where are we? So we are in the European Union, or we are in Europe, in the European Union, in the nice country of Germany, in the heart of the European Union. And here there is the federal state of Saxony-Anhalt, and the capital city of Magdeburg, of Saxony-Anhalt, is Magdeburg, where our university and business school is located. It's roughly 150 kilometers, so around 1.5 hour ride from Berlin. Our largest airports are in Frankfurt, so it's 4 hours away, and Munich, it's also 4 hours away. So traveling to Magdeburg, always a good idea is going, catch a plane to Berlin, and then or maybe Hanover, it's a regional airport, and then take a train to Magdeburg. So we already talked about the future. Just to sum it up a little bit, what is the future of international education? It's about competition. You have to be educated better than other students. We will provide you with leading skills, and I am really I'm promoting that we have one world, one open world is my strongly believe. We should every task we should focus on living in this one world. We already talked about this digital or blended learning situation that we will focus in the future, but it will still need some time. So, and of course, during these times, to sum it up, COVID-19 is affecting us all a little bit, but we can still fulfill a basal human need. We want to travel around and gain experience, and studying abroad is always a good idea to combine these two things. It looks a little bit different compared to the situation half year ago, but we will come back to a new normal situation, I think, but we were working on it. So, and of course, all these nice places in the world, you will be able to travel again. I'm pretty sure about it. You can go to KL, you can go to Asian countries, you can go to Brazil also in the future. And I think this is pictures from Scotland. So to see all the nice places, and of course, we are really happy to welcome you here in our small, green, and also cheap city here in Magdeburg. So this is the Cathedral of Magdeburg, actually one of the oldest building in Germany. And to sum up, why doing an MBA? We already talked about the knowledge you need, and in addition that you need communication skills, problem solving skills. So what is the difference between rationality and irrationality? So why do humans make confusing decision? A network is really important. Dealing with pressure, so also psychological factors are really important, and this is all based on strategic research and methods. What are the best practice leadership for today's business and world? And why doing an MBA? And this is what we discussed some minutes ago. There were some questions in the chat. So what are the advantages of an MBA? And of course, we are pretty sure about that. There's a high salary potential because you are in charge of leading other humans. You are in charge of running the processes, and this means that you are promoted in the university, in the company, and therefore this is also in line with a higher salary. Being your own boss, you not only have to think that an MBA is only important for being in a company. You can also be self-employed, being your own boss. It's more self-responsible, operate your own business, and we will teach you how to manage, how to plan, and also take care about this financial handling. It's a better career opportunities. The skills will be a little bit more diverse and a little bit wider, like human resources, statistics, and from my understanding also economics. Understanding of economics is really important. The crisis is a really good example for it. So the crisis started in China, and as China is one of the largest market in the world, if China has a problem, the world have a problem. And therefore understanding this path, this different steps in an international crisis, you need understanding of economics in multiple areas. So it's ideal for networking. You will get in touch with other students from all over the world. You will build up a future network. So the network thoughts are also really important. It's a really flexible study program because we don't need any pre-knowledges. We will come later to the admission requirements, and you will see that it is really easy to entering an MBA if you fulfill basic academic requirements. Credibility is really important, and it is more and more important in the future world and also in the future education, where you got your degree from. So it means if it's a state-owned German university, or it's a really long traditional American or British university with a really strong historic development, this is much better than running just a 2-week MBA program. So that's worthless from our understanding, because you learn nothing during the study program. So credibility is really important, and running an MBA program at a university is the highest qualification you can get. And therefore, if you choose the right institution for your study program, you have this worldwide recognition of its credentials. So even if you already graduated and the university is doing research and just promoting this research to the world, you will be always part of it, and the reputation of the university will transfer also to yourself. So choose the right institution for your MBA program. Of course, you will enhance your knowledges, enhance communication skill, and what is really, really important, the personal development. Staying abroad, connecting with international students, connecting with students from other countries, other cultures, will alter your whole perception of life and adjust your minds for a better, and from my understanding also for a better world. So this was what I already prepared in the presentation. And before I go into detail about our institution and our way how to teach you, I have prepared a short video about, or it's from our graduates, and gives a brief introduction about our MBA program. So if you're interested in, I can start this video right now. What do you think about it?
Let's go for it, Christian.
Yes, thank you very much. I will just activate that you also hear the voice of the video, and so you should be able to see our presentation.
Today, a career depends more and more on persons' education. More graduates than ever achieve positions in middle and senior management. A high-quality education at a renowned university is the first step to a successful career in economics. The Otto von Guericke Business School Magdeburg offers an academic course of study for international students which teaches the competences they need. The Master of Business Administration.
Economic decisions in practice should always be based on theory. So that means that we have a microeconomic decision-oriented basis. And we have also the feeling that at the international level, decisions can only be made with economic understanding, so global understanding. That means we combine in our MBA program management lectures with microeconomic lectures, and add macroeconomics or economics lectures.
The study program is conducted by the Faculty of Economics and Management of the Otto von Guericke University Magdeburg. The MBA is based on academic quality, relevance to practice, and international orientation.
We don't see a difference between business administration and management, so actually the MBA program is a master study program in management. And we in Magdeburg guarantee that the MBA program has the same quality as any other study program at the university.
Studying abroad will not just develop your English skills, but will also lead to a huge improvement in your social, cultural, and professional skills. The world of economics is international, and, in addition to a high-quality education, personal skills are more important than ever. Therefore, studying abroad is a great opportunity to push your career.
As I mentioned before, studying abroad development your personality. It's an opportunity to travel world.
I think that my English is better, much better than before. And then now I can tell you what I'm thinking, and then to express my thoughts
I think the most important part of study abroad is to promotion myself, because I really get a lot of training about my English skills.
Going out to buy some food, before I think that, oh my God, I wanted to buy toothpaste. I don't even know what's the name for it. I couldn't ask anyone, hey, do you know where's the toothpaste? And then now I can go there and then, yeah. This is my life skills, professional skills, and also my language skills. Make a good, big improvement.
The lectures take place on the premises of the University of Magdeburg, which is located approximately 100 kilometers west of Berlin. Magdeburg has a rich history and has developed into a cultural center. Magdeburg is therefore a perfect location for young people who want to gain an insight into German culture.
After I came here, I knew some history of the city, and then I wowed a little bit. Historical and young in the meantime. Because here the university with a lot of young people, and then feel so active, and then like the sun is just always shining right here.
In Magdeburg, the city is quite peaceful and quiet, and it's a good place for study.
One advantage of a small city like Magdeburg is that coming from A to B needs only 20 minutes. In Magdeburg you can go by bus, you can go by tram or even by bicycle.
The teachers of the MBA program are professors and scientific members of staff of the Faculty of Economics and Management, with a focus on international standards in research and education. Therefore, they use and contribute to the latest research results and are able to guarantee a university education at the highest level.
The MBA program always consists of small groups. So small groups is a big advantage of the MBA program. That allows that teachers are in direct communication with the students. Whenever you have a question, you can ask always during the lectures.
In terms of the professors and the teachers in my subject, I think they are very experts. They really do a lot of reaction between student and the teacher. We have a lot of chance to talk about our own opinions in the class.
The International MBA dovetails perfectly with the International Economics courses at the University of Magdeburg. The first full course of study held in English at the faculty was introduced in 1997. In addition to the MBA, there are also the Master of Management and the Master of International Economics, as well as bachelor degrees taught in English. Therefore, we can guarantee studies with an international orientation from bachelor to PhD degrees.
Actually, we were the first faculty that offered bachelor and master study programs totally taught in English. So we have a very strong experience with international study programs.
The MBA consists of 4 semesters. The first 2 semesters are for your lectures, where the third one is for your seminars. The last semester is dedicated to the master thesis. The course is divided into 8 modules. From the beginning with the economic fundamentals up to personal and information management on marketing and logistics, you will attain a detailed insight into economic interrelations. The program is designed to equip you with the knowledge, methods and skills professional managers are expected to possess.
My most favorite subject is corporate finance. And in the lecture of corporate finance in the business school, I learned a lot of different knowledge before because it's more practical.
The most impressive lectures, I think, is marketing. The professors kind and strict old man, and he always full of energy during his lectures.
I found myself in marketing. It's an interesting subject, and you can see the effect of advertising and the professional selling and the decision of your life.
Because there are some bureaucratic barriers and other challenges you have to face, we will support you during the whole process. Furthermore, the staff of Otto von Guericke Business School will be a competent, reliable contact partner for you.
The first time step in a different environment, But with this help, I feel, yeah, it's a good start.
At the beginning that I came to Magdeburg University, it's really difficult because I can't speak Deutsch, and I really got a lot of help from assistant teachers from my university.
At that time, I didn't know how to go to the library. And I think, oh my God, I have the student ID card, but I just cannot get there. And then I just grab my phone and then call them. I'm so sorry, but I don't know how to do that. And then they give me the very detailed, just small things, very detailed things like this. And then they don't feel, oh my God, it's so annoying. They don't make me feel like this way. They just help.
Before I come here, I don't have any experience to go to another country, and I have no clue how to do it. And after I come here, business school provide a lot of help to me. Like they have the Chinese staff to lead us to do some documents like insurance, and also to extend my visa.
And then they got me the apartment, a good apartment, very clean, new, and organized. They helped me a lot, indeed.
I would say that my MBA program, it's ideal mix of management theories and real-life practical case studies, and I'm really enjoying.
I really try to find an internship in Germany, and I really want to become a very good Dutch speaker. And I think the business school of Magdeburg University provides such a stage and opportunity to me.
My life in here is really awesome, and I even persuade one of my friends to come here.
My family business company, it's food industries company in Saudi Arabia, and I will put all my newly skilled to use to improve the level of the company.
In fact, I really told about my story here with my friends and my family, and I told them I'm really happy to live here because I can study here, I can learn knowledge from my professor, and I can make different types of friends from different countries, and I also use my rest time to learn German, so I think my life here is very colorful, very interesting, very exciting. So I think I really have a happy life in Magdeburg University, in business school, and in Germany.
The number of applications in our international study program is increasing year by year. So we would be happy to find applications from more international students and to invite you to come to Magdeburg and join our study program.
We look forward to taking the next step into your future with you. Do not hesitate to contact us if you have any questions. See you in Magdeburg.
Very, very informative video, Christian. Very informative video.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So shall we now move? Shall we now move to taking a couple of people's questions?
We can do so, and I will jump just to the next slide to the next slide and also provide some additional answers. So of course, let's start with the Q&A section, and I will use some of my prepared slides for answering the questions.
Perfect. That sounds great. I think just also to give you a little bit of a caveat that can help you go into the next section of your slides. Question on top of the mind of every single possibly young person or possible student applicant that's coming from an emerging market or from a developing country. Visa, Christian, what are we going to do about that? Like this high level of bureaucracy. What are we going to do?
Yes. So visa is always. Yeah. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, visa is always a problem for international students, and of course we will provide some help for you. So as you already saw in the video that we are providing, teaching assistant, student assistant, for you, and they are also answering your questions regarding the visa. So let's take, for example, one student. It doesn't matter if he's from China, Jordan, or either or from Egypt. What are the steps? So first of all, you have to run through this admission process of the university, and this admission process, I think it's one of the last pages here in my presentation, the admission requirements. So this is the first step for the visa process, because with no admission, there will be no student visa. So let's combine two questions here. To answer the visa question, I will also answer what are the admission requirements, and I wrote it down here on the slide. So first of all, you have to fulfill the academic requirements. It means that you need a general bachelor degrees with at least 6 semesters, usually 8 semesters or equivalent. And this certificate has to be translated and officially copied, for example, by notary. In addition to this, we need your transcript of record. It's not for checking what you studied, it is for checking that you studied 6 or 8 terms. It does also have to be here as an original letter. So there are additional requirements. We need a letter of motivation. So why is this MBA program useful for you? What are your expectations from our program? What is your future plan? And of course, you have to pass our individual interview. This is mainly for checking your languages. And if you already hold an GRE or GMAT or an IELTS score higher than 6.0 or C1, you are not needed to run this individual interview. But of course, we are happy to answer your questions also during an optional interview. Moreover, you need formal requirements. You have to fill out the special application form. There's a key fact sheet as well. We need a copy of your passport and one additional photo. This is used for a future student ID card here in Magdeburg. And so after running through this admission process, you will receive a final admission letter of the University of Magdeburg. And with this letter, you can easily go to the embassy, ask for an appointment. And I know the waiting times are maybe a little bit long right now. So I recommend that you are asking for an appointment for the embassy when you hand in already your admission documents, because we usually need 3 to 4 weeks for working on your admission, and then you save a little bit of time for the visa application. And of course, every country has different visa regulations, but we will guide you through this process. We know from which country you are. We are checking the embassy website. What documents do you have to prepare? We know that some students from Arabic countries and from Asian countries have to have a blocked account. So it is maybe 10,000 euros on a blocked account here at the German bank, for example. And so we can work on these steps as well, so that you hand in a full package of the right documents to the embassy, because handing in the right documents in the right order fastens the process a little bit. And moreover, the university and the city of Magdeburg is also communicating with embassies all over the world and say, okay, this is a registered student here in our university or prospective student from our university, so everything is right. And then you have this official check also from this side, and then you will get your visa. So, and after you get your visa, catch a plane, catch a train, catch a ship, whatever else, come to Germany, and we will pick you up at the Berlin airport by bus. And so you don't have to take care about how to get to Magdeburg. There will be an official bus of the business school picking you up and brings you this 1.5 hour ride to your flat here in Magdeburg. And then you are here.
That's a very fancy treatment. Okay, so let's do like a kind of like a fireside chat, a couple of questions. So I'm just gonna fire questions at you, Christian, and we need to get down sharp on those because I see they're repeating multiple times. So first of these questions, is admission still open?
Yes, the admission process here at the university ends usually on July 15. So July 15 is the last date where we accept applications. I'm not pretty sure about if this is the right deadline also for this year's. I'm sure that the university will prolong this process a little bit. So if we receive as a business school the documents, let's say in the middle of August, it is still good for us to work on an admission for October. And I'm also sure about that we will start our lectures this year in November. So in Germany, all the universities are shifting their programs a little bit to the future. So official start will not be October 1st, it will be November 1st. And therefore, I think the application deadline will be also not July 15, it will be August 15. So until that date, we need this document presented here on the slide.
Perfect, more than perfect. Okay, so that means I can still apply this year. I have somewhere between July 15th and mid-August date to be announced. I can still get on admission for October, so I can jump onto semester starting in November. Fantastic. Do you take, or your intake is only in this next fall, or do you take different semesters like summer, winter, fall, etc.?
Yeah. Really important question. So usually the intakes are only enrolled here in October, but under some circumstances, and if we have a good plan, it's an individual plan for the applicants, we are also able to enroll students in April. But this is not the perfect way because, yeah, let's come back to maybe one additional detail about our MBA program when talking about the MBA program here at the University of Magdeburg. This MBA program is designed for small classes. So, and this means that these students you see in October, you will studying for the next 2 years. So it's like a school class and not a university where the peoples are always changing. So this special class is running our intended lectures in one line and finishing the lectures in the first year, then the seminars in the third term, and then the master thesis in the fourth semesters. So that means that if you join our program in March or April, you missed some lectures from the basic classes. So, but if you already studied something related to management and economics, then an entry in April is also possible. So it depends on your personal skills and knowledges if it is possible to join in April. So this is always an individual decision. So we will discuss together about it. I give you my strong recommendation when will be a good point for you, because we are also taking care about our students that they can finish their study program. And if you join the program on the wrong time and we are losing you by our lectures so that you cannot follow our lectures, it's not really good for you, it's not really good for me, and it's not good for the business goal. So it depends. But in general, we are rolling in October. Under special circumstances, we can also enroll in April. And this is also to protect you, because our study program have a 90% of success rate. So 9 out of 10 students will successfully pass our program. This is maybe also one of the questions.
That's a great hit rate. One more fast question. Multiple people are also asking about the idea. Okay, we talked about the future of education. We talked about these current times that we're living in. Does it mean, because you're saying that the timeline now of starting of the semester is moved to November, does that mean that it's only going to be offline, like in classroom, or are you providing online options?
So right now we are planning to come back to our traditional way of teaching. So it means that we want to teach in the offline classes on site here in Magdeburg. But in July we are starting on the project how to blend this teaching. And unfortunately, right now I cannot give you a reliable answer to this. But if you are checking our website on July and in the beginning of August, you will see some updates there. And maybe it's also something about the techniques, so the IT requirements. If you are doing a blended teaching with online teaching, we need to have a stable network and so on. So most of the things are really easy to handle, but this work has to be done. So what I am talking about right now is we are coming back to this on-site, to this offline teaching, and we are adding some online as additional exercises. But we don't want to be a full distance learning university. This is not our intention of teaching in the MBA program. So from our understanding, it is always good to stay sometimes in a foreign country. And our MBA program is designed in that way that you need to stay strongly here for 1 year, not for the full 2 years, because seminars and master theses can be run from all over the world. So it's only 1 year you have to stay here for our, let's say, traditional way of teaching. And 1 year you can travel, visiting other countries and going back to a home country and finish your work by running the seminars and the master thesis. So let's see what will be the future.
You just touched on a very important answer, because people were asking if I'm an international student, do I have to be there for the 2 years? So based on your answer, it's mainly like I need to be there for the first year, where I'm taking a lot of in-class sessions, and then for the second year for seminars and thesis, I could do it from wherever in the world. Okay, let's cut to the chase.
Sorry for interrupting you. So maybe let's add one thing. If it is not possible, of course, in November or October to come back to this offline teaching because this pandemic is developing in a way we are not foreseen and we don't want to, we will switch to a full online taught program. So then it is usually the same what we are doing right now. So we are meeting here in our Microsoft Teams room. The lecturer is doing the lecture, is presenting the methods, it's asking students questions, and again we have an e-learning tool, an online platform where we will provide some exercises, and we will do it online. This is what we already done the past 3 months. So as I mentioned before, we switched to online lectures overnight. So it is possible, but it is not the optimal way of transferring the knowledge to the students, because we want to discuss with you individually and also on time. The interaction is a big problem. So communicating of the international students is a big problem. So the way back to us we have to work on. But I'm pretty sure if we need to, we will be really good in it.
Very, very fantastic. Like that really smackdown answers the question. I'll get back at Armia's question, because she's asked this multiple times. So shouldn't I take a master's in computer science to enhance my knowledge instead of going towards business studies? And I think that's a question usually on the minds of a lot of more technical students that are looking at the value of continuing a technical master's degree versus an MBA. I'll speak just out of my own experience. If I'm a technical student and I'm thinking of any of the following, if I'm thinking of career shifting, if I'm thinking of going into business and management, if I'm thinking of becoming a company founder, as in creating my own startup or starting my own company or small medium enterprise, an MBA is invaluable because of a couple of things. Because it enables you to gather big amounts of information, big amounts of knowledge and business acumen in a short period of time. That's point number one. Point number two, it's very, very practical usually, and you're capable of really learning a lot by doing business cases, case studies. That's point number two. And point number three is also the network effect, because you get exposed into a lot of people from the business world, from the corporate world. You learn from them, but also at the same time, you're capable of keeping them within your network to later on be able to get or expose yourself to types of employment opportunities that you were not exposed to before. Last but not least, if you're thinking of pursuing leadership position also inside a technical organization, thinking of becoming a section manager or a manager of a vertical or managing a certain chain, it is also very valuable to be able to get an MBA to advance your career. That is my perspective. What do you think about that, Chris?
Yeah, I'm pretty in line what you already said, and maybe let's add something from the history. So how were the MBA programs developed in the past? So yeah, of course they are coming from the United States. They were the first country designing these MBA programs. But who was the target group during this time? So I think it's from the 60s, 70s, 1960s, 1970s in the United States. where the first MBA programs came up. And the target group of this MBA program were engineers, IT specialists in the later times as well, lawyers, and so on. The idea behind the MBA program is to combine your professional skills from your IT, from your engineer program, so that you're a really good engineer. Then you are really good in the company and you got promoted to be a team leader or maybe to be a department leader. And then you understand that you are missing basic knowledges about management. So what are KPIs? How to talk to people, how to organize people, how to make plans for, if a people is going to be retired or ill, then who will be the next person or who will be the supporting person. So the MBA program is specially designed for engineers in the past, and then additional fields added up like IT, like lawyers, like medical doctors, because just as an example, leading a hospital is the same like leading an IT company. It's always about human workers, human resources. It's always about finance. It's always about marketing. So these techniques, these methods are the same no matter what the product actually is. So if your future career looks like that your engineering career or IT career leads you to a leading position in a company, then the MBA program is a perfect decision for getting the methods and skills you need for this position.
Sounds fantastic. So let's start wrapping up here, Christian. So a lot of people have been having this question. Also, they've been posting it in the chat. Can you tell us a little bit more about the financing? Like, what are the finances that are involved, and at the same time, are there different like funding or scholarship options? And I can also jump in after your answer with a caveat about different scholarship options that we can also support people with.
So this is the next slide I prepared. So our MBA program is tuition fee based. So now we are just talking about the study related program costs. And individual applicants' fees are 15,950 euros. They have to be paid in 2 installments usually, so 50% ahead and 50% in July. But we are flexible. So if you need a 4-semester payment schedule, we are fine with it. Just give us your thoughts about your payment plans, and we will make a contract about your payment periods. This is something what Educately asks us for. We also have cooperation partner fees. So if the number of students or if the application comes from Educately directly, your tuition fee will drop down to 14,100 euros because Educately is also promoting the program and help you to get here to Germany. And we are also helping Educately to manage the total group. They are having a really nice website and a really nice application tool in the back end, and so it makes things a little bit more easier, and so therefore this fees are a little bit decreased. The installments, the payment periods are nearly the same, so 50% ahead, 50% in July 1st, and if you need another finance plan, just ask us. We will find a solution for this. In addition to this, there will be a semester fee for the University of Magdeburg. This is for covering the university cost, and you will get also a public transportation ticket. So it means that you can ride through the city of Magdeburg 24 hours, 7 days a week. And you also have access to our library, and a lot of documents in the library are already digital. So this is what you can also have access worldwide. And this is mainly the cost for the university. It's a law in Germany that you have to be enrolled at the university if you want to have a state recognized degree. Moreover, I didn't write it down here in the on the tuition fee side slide, is what are the total cost of your study abroad, and therefore you have to also take into consideration, for example, the living cost. And Germany has a really wide range of living costs. Of course, the big cities like Berlin, Munich, Hamburg, Düsseldorf, they are really expensive. So for a flat, you pay there roughly 1,000 euro for a single room, even in the outer part of the cities. And this is really cheap here in Magdeburg. You can check it on our website. This tuition here are also mentioned on the website, and also the living costs are mentioned on the website. And for a single room here directly on the campus, you pay roughly 300 euros, maybe a little bit less, and you have a walking distance of 5 minutes to our lecture rooms. So the total calculation is important, even if the tuition fees sounds a little bit high compared to other German business schools. They are low, and also the living costs are really low here in Magdeburg. And maybe let's add one slide again to show you our campus. So I hope you can see my mouse. So this actually is the campus of the university. All this white buildings, and here on the right side of the campus you see that are the living rooms. During my study times I lived in this building, and I have to walk this street. Here is our students' cafeteria, this is our library. You can walk on, and I'm actually sitting here in our faculty building. It's building 22, and there where all your lectures also take place. Good thing about the student dorms directly here on the campus is that you have an 1 gigabit internet connection, so really fast, and it only costs you 5 euros per month, maybe 10 euros. It's not really expensive. So this is my recommendation. And you see all over the campus, there are nice green places, like this is our Nord Park, so it's North Park. It's a small little park where students usually on Saturday and Sundays are doing barbecue. And you see, I'm really close to this park, and I smell this sausages, and you know, Germans like beer and sausages. I'm really jealous about the students.